Hey everybody, and welcome to today's webinar about the CSRD. If you have any questions throughout our webinar, please feel free to use our chat function over here, and my colleague will answer all your questions throughout the seminar. I am Konstantin, and I'm a sustainability consultant here at CEMAsys, and happy to guide you through today's webinar. So let us first talk a little bit about CEMAsys. CEMAsys is a Nordic sustainability consultancy with its offices in Oslo, Boston, Copenhagen, and Stockholm. Over here, we assist over 800 clients in more than 70 countries on their way through their sustainability journey. We assist our clients with a two-pronged approach, where we combine software solutions and expert consultancy in order to get the most out for you. Here we use software solutions that are tailor-made in order to gather and analyze ESG data, as well as our consultants that help you understand extensive regulations and standards. Such regulations are, for example, the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive of the EU, the so-called CSRD. With the CSRD, there's a shift away from voluntary sustainability reporting towards mandatory sustainability reporting, where it's exactly outlined what you need to report when. Today, we dive a little bit deeper into that. For the CSRD, we designed a CSRD gap tool. It is here to help you to identify the most significant gaps in your sustainability work, visually display those to you in an easy to understand and intuitive dashboard in order for you to prioritize and allocate resources to different parts of your sustainability work in order to be compliant with the CSRD and to foster generally your ESG work. A cornerstone of the CSRD is the double materiality assessment. In a double materiality assessment, you as a company look at your activities and see what kind of impact you have on the environment and the people, as well as looking at financial materiality and see what kind of sustainability related risks and opportunities affect your business financially. By doing so, you look at each of the different ESRSs, the European Sustainability Reporting Standards, and their topics and see whether these are material to you. There we have climate change, pollution, water and marine resources, biodiversity and ecosystems, circular economy, your own workforce, workers in the value chain, affected communities, consumers and end users, as well as business conduct. So the cornerstone of the CSRD is this double materiality assessment, where you identify the topics that are material to you that you have to report on. In our CSRD gap tool, we account for this. The gap tool covers all the ESRSs and their disclosure requirements. We look at disclosure requirement level in order to save some time for you. And instead of diving into all the details of every single data point, we simplify it for you to understand what are the major significant gaps of your sustainability work. By accounting for double materiality, you will be able to see your score in regard to your CSRD readiness and preparedness that is not falsified by materiality assessment. So to say, let's state that you are an office company and all the topics that are related to pollution might not be material to you. You will not get point deductions for answering that you have a certain policy not in place, as this is not material to you. Therefore, you get an accurate result in your gap tool. Furthermore, in the ESRSs, it is outlined what to report on. When previously, oftentimes the status quo or metrics were just regarded, under the CSRD, you look a little bit broader. You look at policies, actions, and targets which you have in place as well. So going away from just the status quo towards what actions and policies are you actually taking to receive your targets. Those policies, actions, metrics, and targets are, however, weighted in a different way in the ESRSs. Whereas for policies, actions, and targets, you simply have to indicate whether you have them in place. And if you do so, you have to disclose the specifics. And if you do not have them in place, you disclose that this is the case. However, when talking about metrics, it is very important for you to have material metrics in place. So metrics that are important to you as a company, as they have a financial impact on you, or as you have an impact through them on the environment or people. A new thing in the ESRSs, as they were adopted, are also so-called phase-ins. Over here, the EU Commission decided to lower the burden of reporting for companies, and by including those so-called phase-ins. An example for that is that a certain disclosure requirement might be quite tricky to get in place for the start of reporting. And under certain circumstances, you as a company might decide to omit this reporting disclosure requirement for a predefined amount of time under certain circumstances. In order for you to see that in the gap tool as well, we decided to include those omissions in our answering options, so you can choose to omit them in order to mirror the ESRS, but we still give you a point deduction for that, as you will see that you will have some work to do in the future when the omission period runs out. When it comes to the metrics that are material for you, you need to disclose them. The same accounts for the disclosure requirements under the ESRS2, which are mandatory. So they are not part of your double materiality assessment. If you're lacking one of those metrics that are material or one of those disclosure requirements under the ESRS2, we indicate this with a red flag. This means that you will get a priority list where you see your red flags. These are things you need to get in place in order to be compliant with the CSRD before reporting, as well as point deductions that rather show the less severe level of readiness and completeness. As the CSRD aims to increase the transparency, and comparability of sustainability reporting, it's now not as easy to sweep things under the carpet anymore, and you have to disclose them. Therefore, disclosing that you do not have a certain policy, action, or target in place might not look as good to your stakeholders. So we think in the long run, it's also very important for you to work on those. However, by disclosing your metrics and mandatory disclosure requirements, you are compliant with the law. So that's why they are not as severely handled. However, this way you get a kind of prioritization list of what are your first and most necessary first steps to take, and where do you have to allocate resources to in order to be compliant with the law. While this is a one-off purchase, this product is not meant to be a one-off product. It's ideally to use this product after your double materiality assessment, as you can confidently say what topics are material to you and what do you have to report on. However, to just get a foot into your sustainability and CSRD work, we can also encourage you to use this tool even before that. With that being said, keep in mind that you can't confidently talk about your double materiality. However, it gives you a nice overview of and a kind of like feeling for the most significant gaps. And you can already start putting responsibilities out for certain topics that definitely have to be in place. Whereas after the double materiality assessment, you can confidently say what topics are material to you, and therefore those gaps get a different value to you as well. And there you can start by planning an extensive roadmap of what kind of data points and disclosure requirements you want to tick off by then. Furthermore, with this tool, the traceability of data is also enhanced. This way, you can use it as a project management tool that enables you to work together as a team in the CSRD. When answering to those questions, you can disclose where exactly you can find this data regarding this disclosure requirement, enabling you to seamlessly align for the reporting with the CSRD. We also encourage our customers to use this tool regularly. So whenever there's a new policy, action, target, or metric in place, and they've updated their sustainability work, update your score in this tool as well, and you can follow along and see your progress, as well as see where there are still areas of improvement. This way, you can once again see where you need to allocate more resources. In general and in summary, our tool delivers a very intuitive option for you to see where are your most significant gaps throughout the CSRD. This way, you can start your progress and see what has to be done by when in order to be compliant with the CSRD. Furthermore, it's built upon the latest standard of the ESRSs, which have been adopted the 31st of July this year. So you can rely on that it's the most up-to-date and most reliable source this tool is built upon. When talking about our services regarding the CSRD, our CSRD Gap tool is not the only tool that we can assist you with throughout your journey. While being a super useful, just get started and get a grip and overview of what's going on in your sustainable work regarding the CSRD, the more natural first step is the double materiality assessment. Over here, your double materiality assessment should be informed by a sustainability due diligence process. For that, we have our supply chain control module, which is a software solution that you can use in order to map your stakeholder engagement and impacts on stakeholders in your own operations, as well as throughout your supply chain. Furthermore, sustainability frameworks like the GRI or TCFD might be important and helpful when conducting your double materiality assessment, when looking at impact materiality as well as financial materiality. Over here, keep in mind that the TCFD just accounts for climate-related risk and opportunities. However, it's a good framework that you can try to apply to other sustainability-related risks and opportunities as well. With our carbon footprint module, you can map your greenhouse gas emissions and do advanced calculations for your energy intensity and so forth. With the EU taxonomy module, you can map your KPIs for your alignment with turnover, CAPEX, and OPEX. And our sustainability frameworks, like the Science-Based Target Initiative, help you to set emission reduction targets. While there are many more, we have an extensive knowledge on those and extensive experience that we gained throughout the recent years. Even though the ESRS and the CSRD are new to everybody to report on, we at CEMAsys can confidently say that we have the tools and the skills in order to guide you through all of that. So the most important thing is actually to just get started, whether it's the CSRD Gap tool or whether you just reach out to us regarding our other services. I hope I could enlighten you a little bit more today regarding the CSRD and what kind of solutions are out there. Have a super nice day and see you around. Goodbye.